I don't think that art necessarily shape culture, but we actually create culture. So I think that's a very important point to address, and how we create this culture, but also we have the responsibility of, when we're creating these cultures, be respectful of those communities that we try to be part of, and not add to the problem of gentrification or creating this culture that will lead into gentrification to some of these locations. So I think artists, create culture, but we can also shape it in a way that is a little bit more welcoming and accessible to all. But the really fine line is like, how can we do that without adding to the gentrification process of these communities? So I think it's like that fine, like we can shape it, we're creators, we can shape it, but how can we contain it? Because then we're not even gonna be able to live in those communities at the end, because we won't be able to afford them. Like, how can you really make these changes or have these interactions from the top to bottom kind of like scenario, where you can find like the people who are making the big decisions in the city working with the artists directly, so then they can really have that experience, and the artists can have a little bit more of impact in the city. Overall, the great thing about this residency and just kind of like this collaboration is that by supporting an artist, you're supporting communities. And the fact that this is a combination of those two, I think it really makes it a strong case to keep trying this out and take risks and see how we can learn from each of these cohorts and make it a little bit of a stronger collaboration. From an artist point of view, I moved to Boston 2 years ago, and I think perhaps I came right at the right timing for the right kind of projects, but I feel like Boston had been a great city for me in that case. So I think this residency really allowed us to focus a little bit more on our practice by having that grant, go towards a project, and also through the artist. That I think for me just made it clear, like, okay, this is what I want to do, and I want to continue to do this. And I think it's more about like just try to be resourceful and try to find ways of sustaining this practice, and at the same time doing what we love. Every time that I was coming here, I would go and eat in local restaurants just to get to understand a little bit more the people, the culture, the food, and then also just the different relationships that I was able to develop in this community. I can see how I could be coming back again and facilitate some of these workshops, and that's something that I'm looking forward to. I still kind of like go back and forth with the idea of what an activist means. And I think for me, the way I see it now is in a broader term. Like, it's just the idea of being active and have actions. And I think before I was more specific about dealing with social issues, but now I think it's just the idea of being present and being active in the things that we're doing. And in this case, with this residency, just created this context to just be part of this community and try to integrate myself, even though I'm not quite living here. But it was really interesting to just find like all the different similarities that I share with this community. And I think that's what made this the process of this project a lot more accessible and easy to work with. Because the way I see community-based work, it doesn't belong to just one artist. At the end, it belongs to the people.